The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a brand new obsession.
Oh, they always do. It was instantly everywhere.
Right. But what starts out as this, like, perfect fairy tale romance, it can turn into a nightmare overnight.
Especially when you factor in the internet.
Exactly. Because Klay Thompson's cheating cost Megan Thee Stallion more than just a relationship. It almost cost her her health, her peace, and a historic Broadway run.
It's honestly a tragic ripple effect.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie, that's us, as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to, massive social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
So for today's deep dive, we are looking into the sudden, chaotic unraveling of Grammy-winning rapper Megan Thee Stallion and NBA star Klay Thompson.
And we're definitely moving way past the basic gossip here.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission today is to explore a really big question. What actually happens when the speed of internet culture just entirely outpaces the physical limits of a human being?
Right. Because we're not just talking about a breakup, we're talking about a global misinformation campaign.
We pulled together entertainment and sports reports, places like TMZ and Variety Plus theater reviews and official statements to figure out how this specific situation just spiraled out of control so fast.
It was a complete pressure cooker. I mean, to understand the velocity of this crash, you really have to look at the timeline.
The timeline is wild.
It really is. We are talking about a relationship that went from a soft launch to just an explosive finale in, roughly 9 months?
Yeah, barely 9 months. If you follow pop culture, you probably remember that July 2025 photo dump on Instagram.
Oh, the soft launch.
Right, just a quick blurry shot of them kissing. But then literally days later, they did the hard launch at the Pete and Thomas Foundation Gala in New York.
And the internet just erupted. Like, it was an immediate cultural moment. You have
Yeah.
two people at the absolute apex of their careers.
And they were so public about it. She was sitting courtside with his mom.
Yeah.
They were all over each other's TikToks.
But, there's this paradox with modern fame.
Tell me about it.
When you feed the algorithm your relationship, when you, monetize your joy for engagement, the public starts to feel entitled to your private life. They think they own it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And that public entitlement, it got really obvious by November 2025.
Right, because Klay was playing for the Dallas Mavericks at the time, and he lost his starting spot.
Which happens in sports.
Yeah.
But then a sports podcaster, Jason Williams, goes on the record and basically suggests that Klay's dip in performance was because of his relationship with Megan.
Which is such a wild leap in logic.
It's absurd, attempting to blame an NBA player's shooting slump on his girlfriend.
It's so misogynistic, honestly. But Klay stepped in immediately, which was great.
Yeah, he was forceful about it. He called the comments disgusting and disturbing.
He established a really clear boundary right then and there. He basically said, I won't tolerate disrespect toward her, forming this united front against the sports media ecosystem.
And that united front seemed completely bulletproof, even into, February of 2026.
Oh, Klay Day.
Yes. Megan threw him this massive 36th birthday party. She rented out a venue, got a private concert from Bone Thugs and Harmony, his favorite band.
The ultimate girlfriend move. It was so extravagant.
But this is where the highlight reel just abruptly cuts to black. Because on April 25th, just 2 months after that customized concert, Megan gets on her Instagram stories to announce the split.
And she didn't hold back. The details were jarring.
Totally. What did she actually say in those posts?
Well, she claimed she had been, quote, playing house with his family. She said he got cold feet.
Wow.
Yeah, and she talked about having to support him through these horrible mood swings. She put horrible in all caps.
Right.
During the NBA season.
And that wasn't even the biggest bombshell.
No, the allegation that caught fire instantly was about the cheating. After almost a year together, she claimed he suddenly questioned whether he could even be monogamous.
Like out of nowhere. And her rep actually followed up with TMZ, releasing a statement that trust, fidelity, and respect are, quote, non-negotiable for Megan.
Good for her. But you have to wonder, how does the dynamic shift that drastically in just 60 days?
Well, I think we're looking at the ultimate pressure cooker. You have an 82-game NBA season, right?
Exhausting.
And it's intersecting with the schedule of a global music icon who is simultaneously prepping for a massive Broadway debut. The ambient stress there is just staggering.
Yeah, exactly. When a relationship lives inside that kind of high-altitude environment, the daily friction is totally hidden.
We only see the red carpets.
Right. We don't see the logistical nightmares or the exhaustion. But the second Meghan hit post on that breakup announcement, she created an information vacuum.
And in the digital age, a vacuum never just stays empty. It gets filled instantly by the loudest, craziest voices. Which brings us to the misinformation machine.
This part is just terrifying to me.
It gets so dark. And we're going to break down exactly how these rumors started, but wait till you hear what came next. Because it involves a $700,000 extortion plot.
Oh my gosh, yes. The internet acted less like people gossiping and more like high-frequency algorithmic trading.
Yes. The currency is outrage. The actual truth doesn't even matter.
Literally within hours of the breakup going public, this massive viral claim popped up. Users everywhere were insisting that Klay Thompson went on Instagram Live, accused Meghan of cheating with a Mavericks teammate, and demanded $700,000 a month in maintenance money.
Wait, I just want to pause and break down the anatomy of a lie like this. How does this bypass the critical thinking of millions of people?
Well, first you attach a crazy specific number to it.
Right, $700,000. It sounds too specific to just be made up.
And then you attach it to a medium that disappears Instagram Live. That way people can't easily go back and check the original source.
It's so manipulative. But the sourcing, the fake proof, that's where it gets brilliantly cruel.
Yeah, the people pushing this rumor circulated actual video footage of Klay speaking to a camera.
So if you're scrolling on X or TikTok really fast, you see his face, you see the captions claiming he's demanding money, and you just believe it.
Exactly. But if you actually watch the footage, it was just an old clip of him talking about basketball.
Right. He never mentioned Meghan. He never mentioned cheating.
Yeah.
And he certainly never demanded a monthly stipend.
All right, let's just look at the basic economics of that claim for a second.
Please do.
Meghan has a net worth in the tens of millions. The idea of him, an NBA player who is also a multimillionaire, demanding almost $10 million a year in maintenance from a partner he wasn't even married to.
It's legally and logically absurd.
But the absurdity is kind of the point, isn't it?
Totally. The algorithm doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards engagement. Outrage gets you comments, quote tweets, and shares.
The boring truth is that two busy people just couldn't make it work.
Yeah, but a $700,000 extortion demand involving an NBA teammate, that's a movie script. So the internet collectively greenlit it.
And if you're loving how we break down these wild Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope Report, because the stories only get crazier from here.
Honestly, they really do. Because the rumor machine wasn't done. It always needs new cast members. Pitting Meghan against Klay wasn't enough. The algorithm needed collateral damage.
Enter Lexie Brown.
Lexie Brown. She is a 31-year-old guard for the WNBA's Seattle Storm. And she had literally nothing to do with this.
Nothing at all. But an ex-user, someone going by the handle at VME, just dragged her into it.
How did they even do that?
They claimed Lexie was posting screenshots on her Instagram close friends list. And these supposed screenshots showed Klay messaging Lexie, telling her that his relationship with Meghan was strictly for social media clout.
This is such a modern digital fabrication tactic.
It really is.
By claiming the screenshots were from a close friends story, that private green-circled feature on Instagram, the fabricator creates this automatic defense.
Right, because if anyone asks for proof, they just say, well, you aren't on her close friends list, so you obviously wouldn't have seen it.
It creates a totally closed loop of unverified info. And the rumor got so big that Lexie Brown actually had to pause her WNBA prep to issue a public denial.
She posted on Instagram, making it very clear she had zero involvement with Klay or Meghan, and called the rumors entirely false.
I just try to put myself in her shoes. Imagine stepping onto a basketball court for practice and finding out you are trending globally because an anonymous troll decided to cast you in a celebrity soap opera.
It just shows there is absolutely no friction in modern rumor mills. Like back in the day, a tabloid at least had to pretend to have a source.
Yeah, there's a printing delay.
Exactly. Today, some random account can invent a lie at 9:00 a.m. and by noon, millions of people accept it as gospel.
And it forces real people to issue public statements to clear their names.
It's exhausting.
Speaking of exhausting, I want you to really think about Meghan in this moment. You are going through a very real, very painful breakup. Trust was broken.
Yeah, your heart is hurting.
And while you're dealing with that, you have to watch the entire digital world invent lies about you, your ex, and random third parties.
The psychological weight of that would crush anyone. Most people would just hide out in a cabin for a month.
But she couldn't hide. And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding her career. Because while this firestorm was raging, she was in New York City making theatrical history.
Oh, the Broadway run. This is where the story shifts from like a digital phenomenon to a deeply physical reality.
Exactly. Let's get to the Moulin Rouge of it all.
Megan was cast as Harold Zidler in Moulin Rouge, the musical at the Al Hirschfeld Theater.
Which is huge. She was the very first female-identifying actor to step into the role of the proprietor.
Right, a character that Jim Broadbent famously played in the 2001 movie.
And look, the theater industry relies heavily on what they call stunt casting. It's just economics.
Broadway is so expensive to run post-pandemic.
So expensive. So bringing in a global superstar like Megan Thee Stallion guarantees that her fans, the hotties, are going to buy tickets.
It fills seats during that weird spring transition season that would otherwise sit empty.
But stunt casting is also a massive gamble. The Broadway graveyard is completely full of pop stars and film actors who thought doing a stage play would be easy.
Oh, absolutely. Like, remember when Peyton List did Heathers off-Broadway?
Oh, man. TikTok tore her vocals apart.
Brutal. Or Kit Connor doing Romeo plus Juliet. The mistake these celebrities usually make is trying to contort themselves into a traditional theater mold.
Yes. They try to hit the exact vocal runs and physical marks of the stage veterans who originated the roles, and they just don't have the training for it.
But Megan was so smart about it. She took a completely different approach.
According to theater reviews from Variety and Deadline, she didn't even try to be a traditional Harold Zidler.
She literally systematically dismantled the role and rebuilt it around her own skill set.
She swapped out these complex sun melodies for her signature spoken word. She changed the choreography to fit her own high-energy dance style.
She basically turned Zidler from this creepy, sinister club owner into an effervescent, larger-than-life party host.
And she even wove her hit songs Body and Savage into the finale.
The critics loved it. Reviewers said she brought a level of charisma the production desperately needed.
Even Danny Burstein, the guy who originated the Zidler role on Broadway, he came out and praised her performance.
Because she refused to be a lesser version of a traditional actor, she just became a spectacular version of herself.
Okay, but I have to jump in here and play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
We are praising her for adapting the role,
Yeah.
and the critics clearly loved her. But we also know she physically collapsed and had to exit the production early.
Right.
So doesn't that outcome kind of suggest that forcing a stadium-touring pop star into a relentless 8-show-a-week Broadway schedule is just a terrible idea no matter how clever the adaptation is?
Well, that is the absolute core tension of this entire situation.
Right.
You can adapt the creative elements, sure, but you cannot adapt the brutal physical mathematics of a Broadway schedule.
8 shows a week is insane.
It requires a highly specific type of muscular and vocal stamina. It's a totally different athletic discipline than an arena tour, where you perform maybe 3 nights a week and have rest days.
And we have to remember, she wasn't just adjusting to the physical demands. She was carrying the invisible, crushing weight of that personal chaos we were just talking about.
The timeline of her physical health tracks with terrifying precision alongside the timeline of the relationship unraveling.
Because on March 31st, while her relationship with Klay was privately hitting its absolute breaking point, she had a severe medical episode mid-performance.
She literally had to be rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, and she was incredibly transparent about it later. She called it a real wake-up call. She admitted she was entirely running on empty.
It's so scary to even think about. She described feeling like she was going to lose consciousness right there under the stage lights.
Her body essentially bypassed her willpower and pulled the emergency brake.
Now, she did manage to recover and return to the stage a few days later, which is a testament to her work ethic.
But adrenaline only lasts so long.
Exactly. The compounding factors, the physical choreography, the emotional toll of the April 25th breakup, the mental exhaustion from that insane internet hate campaign, it all forced a premature exit.
The numbers really paint the picture here. Moulin Rouge extended its Broadway run through August 2026. Megan was contracted to stay until May 17th.
But she had to cut her run 16 days short.
She announced her final performance would be May 1st, and Eric Anderson had to step back into the role early.
The visual that truly encapsulates the human cost of all this, it happened during one of her final curtain calls.
Oh, I saw the video of this.
The news of the breakup had just hit the public. The misinformation machine was at peak capacity with the $700,000 rumor, and as the Broadway audience cheered for her, Megan was just visibly crying on stage.
It strips away all the illusion, doesn't it?
It really does. She released a statement expressing profound gratitude to the cast, the crew, and the fans.
She praised the rigorous work ethic of the theater community. But underneath all that professional grace, the message was unavoidable. She had to choose her own survival.
She had to step away to get her peace and her physical health back.
And if you want to stay updated on stories where pop culture meets real human consequences, definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive.
Because if we look at all the evidence we've compiled today, a very clear, very sobering picture emerges.
What's the main takeaway for you?
Well, we witnessed a relationship crumble under the unique pressure of massive celebrity. And we saw how the modern digital ecosystem doesn't just observe a crisis, it actively accelerates it.
It distorts it. It uses anonymous accounts to fabricate damaging rumors about innocent people like Lexie Brown.
And we saw the ultimate consequence of that acceleration.
Yeah. The internet treats public figures as limitless resources, like they're just avatars that exist purely to generate content and drama.
But avatars don't end up in hospital beds. Human
Yeah.
beings do.
Exactly. The physical collapse on that stage is the literal manifestation of digital exhaustion. It proves that no matter how much talent you possess, the human nervous system cannot infinitely process global scrutiny while simultaneously delivering peak physical performance.
It's impossible.
And this is why this deep dive matters to you, the listener. It forces a mirror up to how we all consume media.
Definitely. Every time you see a sensational headline or a supposed leaked screenshot from a close friends list or a wild rumor about an extortion demand,
You are looking at a product designed to farm your attention.
and engaging with that product comes with a hidden cost that is almost always paid by the person on the other side of the screen.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over. We demand so much from the people who entertain us.
We really do. We want them to be vulnerable and share their lives, but we also expect them to be invincible when the lights go down.
But if pushing past those limits results in a literal hospitalization, an early exit from a historic career milestone, and tears in front of a live audience, at what point does our endless appetite for the tea make us complicit in the burnout of the artists we claim to support?
It's definitely something to think about the next time you find yourself endlessly scrolling through the fallout.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.